Oh my gosh. Okay, I forgot to recording again. So, but this is what we do today. Okay. So what I need to do is I probably have to make out another one to able to do this. Okay. So what we got Lady Gaga today is this one. Okay. So I decided to recording it one more time. Since this second time I do this forget thing. Then so I'm going to show you how to do that. So I do that with start with the faces. Okay. I get the face done. Then I put the hair, the contour hair over. Okay. Then I find out where the eye position, the nose, mouth, center line, like we used to do. Okay. Then we eventually will become like this. So today's lesson, uh, we can finish 1 hour, no problem. This is what we achieve for 1 hour. But since this is second time do that, so won't take that long. Okay. So I put away. So start from scratch. Okay, yeah. The same thing. We start with the shape of the head. So start with the bend of the head. Okay. Then this the right side, the cheek and the forehead over here. Yes. Trust me, don't have to be accurate. Just based on what you see and that. I just do that. Okay. Then the left hand side. A little bit kind of go out this way, tiny bit. Then to the cheek. Cheek a little bit higher, about here. Then going to cut in. Almost like a one line. Almost like a one line here. But to over here, there's a mouth muscle here. Then go to the chin. Then go to the jaw. Okay, so like that. Okay, get basic shape. So jawline and going to here, then chin. So the faces look like. Okay, then after that, we done that. We might need to adjust that, but this is just basic. Okay, then after this, we're going to add the hair. This hair coming down to about here. Okay, then the top, there's almost so the top almost like semicircle. Okay, almost like semicircle. Go about here and curve. Two, you can see about if you divide to three, the top here three. Right here is almost like a divider. The the top of the hair can divide like this shape right here. So from here, almost like semicircle like this. Then here's almost semicircle go out. Little bit to the top of the head, here's little bit kind of angle. Okay, little bit angle like this. Right here. Then come down. Okay. So get basic contours almost like that. So once we start working on the feature of the faces, then we going to adjust a little bit. Because based on what we see with like this, now when we start put the eye in, the nose in, we find out eye, forehead may be too short or too long. Okay. So based on what we see here, the eyes probably like a 1/4 of here. It's probably eyes will be like that here, like that. Then both eyes a little bit like a slant to the middle like this. Little bit slightly like this. The angle, the eye. Okay. And the center line probably is like somewhere here. Okay, not middle. It's over middle to the left a little bit. which is our right hand side. Okay, and going down here. So about divide to 4 quarters. So nose will be end up like below the second one. So the middle will be like here. So that's about the nose will be right somewhere here. That below this one. Okay. Then another quarter. And here will be the mouth. Okay, mouth will be like here. Okay, so about that basic feature. Okay, so we get the nose, mouth, and position of the eye. Now I'm going to place the eye. Okay, so this one's close to about right here. Like I said, quarter. Divide to 4 equal space, about quarter right here. Okay, and the eye slightly like this way, not the flat, not like parallel to the edges paper, slightly like a slant like this. Okay, so let me blow out a little bit. Okay, so this is close to the nose bridge, goes like this. So this nose bridge. Okay, so the eye will be almost touch, but not quite. Okay, go this way. The lower eyelid to the eyeballs is a little bit tiny, the gap, the white gap. Okay, and here the sac, there'll be shade underneath here. Okay, so the upper eyelash is like a lash like this. There'll be angle going out, and all of the eyelash kind of curved down going out. See the lower eyelash will be like that. Okay, then when we do the pupil and the iris, had to be careful because placement and the size and shape is really important. Otherwise, it doesn't look like a person we draw. Okay, so watch out the negative spaces. So we can see about this much. We barely can see the ring. The lower eyelid will block the lower one. And the pupil right here. Let's highlight over right here. Okay, and the fold But when we do the nose, sometimes it's hard because we know the shape, but it don't have to really show the line. You put too much line here will be kind of so odd. Only use a shade to show, indicate the shape of the nose. Okay. And to the right eye. Watch out the distance from the nose bridge to here. Watch out the height to the here, about the same. Okay. Same thing, the eye kind of go this direction. That. The fold. Okay, so that's underneath the lower eyelid right here. Same thing, the eyelash. Kind of go a little bit kind of upward. Okay, place the eyeball. Same thing, you cannot see the whole lower eye, the ring of the eyeball. You can see the top iris and the pupil here. You can see some of the shade on the iris. Yeah. The highlight, you can see little highlight, but not too bright. Okay, so like this. Okay. Then that's the fold. The little mole right over here. Okay, to add some shade to the lips. So when you do close up, you can see a little bit detail. Refine the lips at the edges toward the edge here. That's getting darker. Okay, so add some shade under the eyebrow and shape like this. Okay, so if you do have a paper stump, well, feel free to use paper stump to do that. Okay, for large area for the face, like a cheek, you feel free to use chamois to kind of create shade. Some forehead here. Okay, then go back, dark a little bit, eyelash. Fold. Into the right eye. Okay, then we can see some of the highlight on the forehead. I mean, the hair over the forehead, over here, and the very top here. So you feel free to use embossing tool, or you can just freehand to do that. It's probably the same. Okay. So I basically just want an indication of the bend of the head over this area. Okay, so I kind of readjust that. This. You're able to create a hair natural hanging out over the forehead. You need to come out from this way, able to show it. Okay, you'll have to show this kind of line. Okay, if you do this way, it will be hard to show it. It's kind of opposite, kind of too dull on here. Okay, you go opposite, go this way. Some longer, some shorter. You don't have to be too even. Okay. And you don't have to be the same as your photo reference. Photo reference is just give a reference. So you just based on that can create the hair. Okay. So that's the end of the bend the forehead. Okay. Right from here, the corner of the eyebrow. Here the hair can hanging down. So we can adjust that. Then the cheek and the hair coming in. Okay. Then same thing from here, we can see some of the highlight. Here's some highlight. So highlight is shaped like this. Indicate here too. Like I said, if you're not quite sure, you feel free to use the embossing tool to kind of do that. Okay. Even the highlight is not totally white. Okay, just a bit brighter than the dark hair. That's it. Okay, so here's kind of got this. Remember, this all kind of curved down to this position here. Okay, I just want to indicate the highlight and the dark here. So just go over. Later, I'm going to use a really dark pencil, like a 6B or AB pencil. Go over. So here's a highlight. Forehead, top of the forehead, like this. Okay. So far I use HB pencil. So those highlight you can go over with HB pencil a little bit, it's fine. Later I go over some of the dark spot. Let's say 6B pencil. Okay. So if you find out, oh, you dark too much on certain part, That's okay. You can use the eraser to go back to retouch it. Okay. Let's see what's the eraser. Oh, the eraser goes. Okay. So you can feel free to use dark one. Okay, so go here, the cheek, underneath, and almost straight line. But I can see the jawline kind of coming out a little bit at the middle somewhere of the cheek. So here. Okay, like that. And it's up to you. You want to create a little bit of clothing. Do that. The jawline. Jawline's go like this. You can go upwards. Try not to make it too sketchy. Okay, because it's a girl, female. So have to be a little bit smooth. Okay, line cannot be too sketchy. Yeah. Okay. Then somewhere here's a little bit the likeness. Yeah. Let me create a little bit of bead. Be done. The doctor part surrounding. It tells you different kind of pressure to create dark and light. Okay, I won't do too much for the clothing. The indication that's good. Okay. Okay, so now it's using a 6B pencil. Okay, so here pretty much read dark. Okay, so right over here, heavy dark. So pretty much use side the tip to create a hair hanging down. But watch out the curve. Okay, watch out the curve. And here has some highlight like hanging down over here. So you don't want to make it too dark. Some of the hair kind of coming down this way. About this much. Okay. So if you want, you can create some jewelry. So it's kind of this. Okay. Big thing over big jewelry here. The gemstone over here. You can see right here. Okay. So the rest part is pretty much dark here. So I use a side tip and I go over here like this. And go back to the top with a little bit line like this. Okay. This section is really dark, so I can press it a little bit harder. not quite like this. Yeah, this will be the shoulder over here. Now you can see what's this. You can see some highlight over here, shoulder, then here, the light catch. The rest of the hair connect over. I don't do too much going whole thing, just pretty much kind of fading out to the bottom here. And then the hair go up. Some fine line. Okay. And then go back to refining some of the shade. Reduce some of the highlight too bright. Dark a little bit for the highlight, not too bright. Okay. Okay. Then just retouch some of the cheek part. Would be shade. Would be shade. Okay, and with some highlight, tiny bit. Make it smoother for some of the transition from shade to highlight. Okay. Okay, so pretty much done. There's some shade near there. It'll be okay. Okay, so that will be for Lady Gaga portrait. All right, thank you. That's it for tonight. So that will be final look like. Okay.